You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Welcome to our show, True Secrets of Life. With me, Ana Lennyr. I am a family, relationship, and antidepressant expert. And today we're coming to you with an amazing secret of life. Today's true secret of life is life is limited, but knowledge is not. So, today we have an amazing guest joining us to just talk about this subject of how life can be limited, but knowledge is definitely not. His name is Jeremy Leisky, and he is the founder and creator of an amazing application. And if you guys don't have it, you need to get this app that changes lives every day. The app's name is GPS for Life Success. And here is Jeremy introducing himself to talk a little bit about why did he decided to do this, because it's just amazing what he put together. Jeremy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you, Anna. I really appreciate the introduction, and thank you very much for allowing me to be on your show and talk to all of your amazing audience. So thank you again very much for that. My name is Jeremy J.D. Leisky, and as you said, I am the founder of an app called GPS to Life Success, and you're going to find it on the Apple and Google Play Store. So it's an awesome app that I designed, and before I really go more into what the app does for you, I'm going to explain a little bit on why I decided to make the app that I made right now.
Go ahead, Jeremy. We really need to know what this is, because it's just something exceptional. So go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. And this is something that's, even though it's been the last year and a half of me building to make it happen, it's really a whole lifetime of experiences coming together in order to make this happen. And this is going to change millions of lives out there. And if you're listening right now, you come on the app, and this will change your life. I guarantee it. So when I grew up in a household that was an abusive household. And, I had a lot of anger issues and different things that was going on with that, and grew up as a cutter. And, I had an overdose, attempted suicide when I was 16 years old, in and out of juvenile detention centers, psychiatric units, the whole 9 yards. I was just a really, really lost teenager growing up. And then at 18, I was living out of my car. I was working at this gas station, living in my car behind it. So when it was time for me to work, I would just go and do that, and then go back into the car and, clean up in the bathroom there. And so that was a heck of an experience. And then at 19, I was the getaway driver in a robbery that went bad. I know it's really crazy, but that was something that really, even though it was an experience where I went into prison, it was something that changed my life for the better. And you're going to go, how is going into prison changing your life for the better? Well, it got me off of the streets. It got me away from the people that I was around, because, to be honest, I would either be doing a life sentence or I would have been dead by now if I hadn't gone through that. But I was sentenced to 10 years in prison, got my GED, went to college, did everything I was supposed to do in prison, read the Wall Street Journal every day, and really tried to make my life better and take that opportunity to do something with it. And so when I got out, next thing you know, I was talking with troubled teens. Then I was speaking at one youth group. Then another youth group was calling me. Next thing you know, I'm going all over Illinois, speaking to different churches and youth groups, and got to really speak into a lot of lives. And it was really great to be able to connect with them. It was shortly after that I started a limousine company, built it all the way up, had the entire fleet, overextended myself, and unfortunately the company had to close the company. it was a heck of an experience, but, it was one of those experiences in life. It taught me a lot of things. And so after that closed, I went through what I call my Forrest Gump phase. Now, I'm sure most of you out there have seen the movie Forrest Gump. And during this phase, I actually decided to carry across the length of Illinois. And I know as soon as I say something like that, a lot of people think that I am some religious zealot that's going around whipping myself and doing all these other crazy things.
Yes, I know.
That kind of goes through my mind. Some crazy guy you're carrying across. Oh my gosh, one of these things. No, it was just a journey of self-discovery, and it pushed me harder physically, mentally, and spiritually than I'd ever been pushed in my life, and got to meet so many people along that journey that had felt like they were broken, really felt like they didn't have a purpose in this world, and each and every one of us does. And so it was really amazing to be able to spend time with them and speak into their lives, and really just in the few moments that I got to spend with them, see a real change happen. So I knew that this is something that I was meant to do, and I thought I was going to be doing more with carrying the cross in the church, but then unfortunately I had some heart issues. Next thing you know, I'm going into the hospital, found out at the age of 35 that I had 90% blockage in my coronary artery in my heart, and they had to put 5 stents in. And then I had a small stroke while I was in the hospital. And so that turned my world upside down. My strength was something that I could rely on. I could work with my hands. And now that was taken away from me. And I didn't know how I was supposed to move forward. And it was really interesting going through that journey. I lost everything that I had at that point and was trying to find my way back. Started working in a non-emergency medical transportation company. And that means that I got to drive around people that were going to hospitals and doctor visits and different things. And I ran into a lot of people that were running in the same situation. They had heart issues or something happened to their leg or their arm, and they're just sitting here going, what do I do? How do I move forward in life? And it was really hard, but again, I got to be there and talk into these lives. Absolutely amazing.
No,
So
your story is like from a movie. I mean, seriously. It's like a story from absolutely a movie, where you have started and where you have ended up today to just influence people's life to this level is just absolutely amazing. It's just absolutely, it's just right? It's just like it's something out of this world. But how interesting that each part of your life, including your heart problems, brought you closer to helping more and more people. And this is what you're doing with this application, GPS to Life Success. You can reach now millions of people with just a vision, with just a click of a button. So, Jeremy, you have to tell us about this app. You have to tell us about GPS to Life Success. Please tell us about it.
Absolutely. And that's why I designed this. To be honest, when people look back, they always ask that question, would you change something in your past? I really look and I can say, I don't want to change anything in my past. And people go, what the heck with all you've led to? Well, it's given me the experiences that I have, it's the experiences that I've gone through to do what I'm doing right now. And one of the things that happens when I really realized that I was supposed to change lives is I ran into somebody who told me that they had a job opening for one event, working in something called a coaching zone, and it was for virtual summits, and I started working that. And the next thing you know, I was surrounded by coaches and influencers from around the world. And it was amazing that each one got to speak into my life, and I got a little bit of nugget from each one and then could gravitate towards the ones that I really, really connected with. And so I decided, you know what? That's what I need to do in my app. I need to make a platform where people can come on and they get a little bit of information from a variety of different coaches that they can apply in their life right now. So as soon as you download that app, there's going to be what we call life hacks on there. They're quick tip, actionable lessons that you can apply in your life right now. and start making a difference. And when you find a coach you can really relate with, then you can work more with that coach one-on-one. And we have a variety of different things on there. We're going to have, we're starting off, we have 30 coaches on there right now. We're building up, and we're looking at having 60 coaches here in a few months on this, which is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm talking with so many different amazing individuals that all want to be on this platform to help each and every one of you out there take those steps and move forward in life. And we've got our social platform that's on there, so you can do gamification, goal setting. We do one-on-one Zoom or group Zoom calls with each one of the coaches each month. We've even got our own vlogazine. I mean, it's amazing all the tools that are there for everybody to utilize.
So the way I have seen it here, while we're talking, and by the way, if you just tuned in, you are listening to True Secrets of Life with Ana Lennyr. And we're talking today with Jeremy Leisky, who is the founder of the app GPS to Life Success. And we're talking about this amazing true secret of life, that life is limited, but knowledge is not. But this is it, Jeremy. You had been thrown into what maybe people don't succeed to overcome, or they experience, in a million lifetimes in just this life, right? I mean, you've been thrown like to the wall, up and down and right and left. And you came up with this amazing idea of putting it all together to help others so they don't have to go through the troubles that you have been through. And if you haven't listened to the first part of this show, and you haven't heard Jeremy's story, please make sure you go to truesecretsoflife.com, because the show is going to be entirely there for everybody that wants to find life hacks, secrets of life, to not stay in pain and suffering anymore, just to find their way out of the problems they had with the experience of others. Because somebody said one time that, a fool is the one who has to experience it all himself. He only learns from his own mistakes. But a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. And this is what you have done, Jeremy. You put together not only your own transformation out there, you put together not only everything you have learned in half of your lifetime, because it's not over yet, right? You're still young, right? And so much that you have learned, but you put together things that other coaches, different perspective of other coaches have about, I think, 12 categories. Is that correct, Jeremy? You have 12 categories out there for life hacks?
Yeah, absolutely. We have 12 categories. We have end of life, grief, and loss. That was one that was close to me, because when I lost my parents, I fell apart. I thought that I had everything under control. I tried to take things on. I tried to move forward, but inside, there was just a lot of things going on that I never dealt with. So I thought that was very important for a lot of people out there that are going through that kind of process. And then we have personal growth, purpose and passion, mindset, and self-care. I mean, that is a huge one. I can't tell you how many coaches are coming on going, I want to be in mindset and self-care, but we only do 5 coaches in each one of these categories because we don't want to overwhelm people with too many coaches at the beginning. We have nutrition and holistic health, fitness and physical therapy. I mean, that's a really huge thing. We were actually, Anna and I were sitting down, and originally I just had fitness, but there's so many different aspects to fitness, and physical therapy is very important. There's a lot of techniques that'll help you with a lot of different pains and stuff like that. We have coaches on board that'll teach you some amazing secrets with that to really help you out, and you can be amazed at how simple a lot of these things are, and you're just going, wow. I wish I'd have known this for a long time, but like she said, we gain from the wisdoms of others. We have spiritual growth, money, freedom. I mean, that is a huge issue for a lot of us, especially now with everything going on in the economy, inflation. It's just crazy. And right now we really need to know how to make our money work for us and be aware of that. So it's great to have the coaches on there. relationships. I mean, geez, who doesn't need help with working with their relationships, either with family, with community? Sometimes there's things going on that we don't really understand, and we're doing something and we think we're doing things correctly, but then things still fall apart. We're going, what's going on? So you definitely want to check in with that. And we have mental health support. Serious depression. I mean, Anna has gone through it. She's talked about that. I have gone through that, and it's something right now. Suicide rates are through the roof out there right now. So many people feel like they're lost and broken, and it felt really good to have coaches on here that are heart-centered people to really help those individuals go through and deal with that process and come through the other side. And we also have business development and overcoming addiction. So as you see, we have categories that cover a lot of different aspects in somebody's life.
Exactly. Most aspects, you need them in your life. Maybe not overcoming addiction to everybody, right? But everything else, if you want to build a business, if you want to have, financial freedom, if you want to have great relationships, if you don't want to be heartbroken and a little bit depressed, right? Everything else that you mentioned is what is needed out there. And that's, I think, it's the amazing part of this application, GPS to Life Success, because it's not only that, you have these categories, you have in each one 3 to 5 coaches who are giving a different perspective of the same thing, of the same approach, right? So here is, you're not getting the knowledge of only one single person out there. You're getting a sum of knowledge that you have accumulated in your lifetime. And guess what? Knowledge is unlimited. So, we're still learning every single day about everything. Our life is going to go away after the age of 80 years, right? But, with all due respect, like my mom, for example, she didn't even make it to 55, right? Because she was depressed.
Yeah.
Right. But knowledge is something that you need to have. Just one secret, one life hack can change your life forever. It's like can make you realize that, you deserve to live a life you desire. You deserve to be happy, right? So I think this is one of the most amazing things about the app. And yes, I believe so much that this is amazing that I am on the app at the mental health and at the relationship level, because this is what I do, right? I get people out of depression using relationships, building amazing relationships in families, right? Because this is totally needed to have a great relationship of yourself and others. So, Jeremy, I don't even know what to say here, because you have such an amazing life and experience, and you are working right now with, so many amazing people. But the truth is here, Jeremy, that everybody needs sometimes just a little bit of help, right? And sometimes they need a little bit more help. And some of us, for example, like your life of suffering and pain, you didn't have any help from your family. We didn't have coaches at that time. We didn't even know what they are. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have applications on the phone. I mean, I remember the first computer I had is like at the age of 20 something, right? I mean, we didn't have all this internet that opened up our universe for knowledge. And some of the things that we do are not the new techniques that they invent. They're actually old techniques that have been there for thousands of years, right? And that they work. They absolutely work. So tell us a little bit about other coaches out there and what they succeeded to overcome, in their life, and why they decided to do this.
Sure. I'll talk about, there's so many different stories. I can talk about Dr. L, who does stuff with nutrition and relationships. He went through stuff going on in his marriage, and he had things falling apart in his life, and his health was going in a bad direction, and he had to start, the thing is there's so much information, like you were just talking about. there's tons of information out there now with the internet at our fingertips. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad information as well as good information, and trying to sift through that. And a lot of these coaches actually had experiences with bad information, like Dr. L, who had doctors that gave him wrong information on nutrition, and he was actually killing himself. And he started really learning more about the body and finding his own nutrition patterns and realizing that what he was being told was the wrong information. And so he really wanted to help people with that. And, he really wanted people to change their lives out there. We have Tommy. He is a great coach that's on there. He calls himself the Mindset Engineer, and he is absolutely amazing. Same thing. He had a failed marriage. He was going through a point where the bank account was empty. He had lost everything, and he started having to do some research because he had bad advice from different coaches. And there's a pattern we can go through each one of the coaches here where they went through a pattern of running into bad coaches with bad advice. And that was one of the things that really drove me crazy, especially now during this time, is when people are seeking for information and you have people that don't know what they're doing, giving information to people, and then they're not able to do it, or they're still falling short. They feel like something's wrong with them. They're going, well, this expert must know, so I'm doing something wrong. And, that's why it was important to me. I vet these coaches that come through. I spend time with them, really get to know about their journey and what they know, so that we give the right kind of experience to people. And like you said, we have these we're not cookie cutters. Each one of us learns a different way, and that's why we have coaches on here that teach differently and will reach, and so people will gravitate to one coach's style compared to another, and a lot of them are teaching the same kind of stuff, but like you said, in different ways. And that's what's really amazing, is because, like I said, we're not cookie cutter, and we all learn in our own way, and that's really important on here. So, that kind of sums it up with that, and then I could go all day into each one of the coaches and stories they overcame with health or with mindsets and relationships and everything else. So
yes, and you're totally right when you have mentioned there are so many misconceptions and so much bad information, right? I mean, only for mental health, I scream on these radio waves all the time that, depression is not a mental illness. Relax, there is nothing wrong with you. There are a lot of things that happen to you that you need to heal, but there is nothing wrong with you, right? A lot of misconceptions about relationships. The biggest ones is like, oh, I have to love them and adore them and give them everything and suffocate the poor person until the other person doesn't even know where to find them. And is like running away from everybody, right? And so all these things are happening because there are a lot of misconceptions out there. And this is why I think it's absolutely amazing, the application that you put together at GPS to Life Success, because you have put together different perspectives and different coaches, right? Like, for example, my approach is very abrupt. You want to get rid of heartbreak, anxiety, and depression. This is what you do. Well, some people are not ready to get rid of that in 1 minute. Or in 3 months, like I'm doing it, right? But I don't have time when I have suicidal kids and all kind of other things to just start negotiating. It's like, maybe you should start the program next month. Maybe you should start taking it easy, right? Not everybody is cut for such a, huge change in their life. So then you have other coaches out there that give you a different perspective, that give you a slower way to do it, right? A different way, a different approach to do it. And whoever you resonate with, not only that you have Zoom calls about once a month or every 2 months with the actual coaches out there, but you also have a possibility of getting a one-on-one with them. You also have a chance of connecting with whoever resonates more with you. And I think this is very, very important because, a lot of times I have my clients who are, I'm very forward and very straight. They tell me that everything I try to teach them in 3 hours, they can learn in a whole year. Okay, it takes them a year to learn what I teach in 3 hours, right? It's how abrupt it is. It's how, how should I say, life-changing, radical, if you want, right? Yeah. To come up from you're depressed and in 3 to 7 months to come up with like, I'm happy, is something like a dream that nobody even believes, right? But this is how I'm doing things. And some people might do it slower and some people might do it differently. And this is very, very important because I think this kind of approach is not like only you gathered a lot of information out there for everybody to reach at one click, okay? But you gather it from different perspective. I think this is absolutely amazing. But if you are just tuning in, we're going to have a break in approximately 2 minutes. But before the break, I want to remind you that you are listening to True Secrets of Life with Ana Lennyr. I am a family relationship and antidepressant expert. And today we're talking to Jeremy Leisky, the founder of GPS to Life Success, about one true secret of life. That is, life is limited, but knowledge is not. So if you haven't had the chance to listen to our first part of this interview with Jeremy Leisky, please make sure you're going to truesecretsoflife.com and you are listening to the entire show, because Jeremy's story of how it all started for him is something from like a series of movies. I wouldn't even call it one movie, because I don't think you can catch like 10 hours of a movie in one, like you're going to get exhausted and tired and you're just going to get, I think an entire series should be done, like, like one of those drama shows that are running forever and ever in episode 150 or something, right? This is Jeremy's life in a couple of minutes, okay? This is exactly how it works. So for all the listeners that haven't heard your story from the beginning, please make sure you go to truesecretsoflife.com to listen to the entire show. We will be back after the break in just a couple of minutes.
You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Have you ever wondered, what are the secrets to a happy and successful life? Well, Ana Lennyr, family relationship and antidepressant expert, will share with you true secrets of life to help you overcome heartbreak, anxiety, and depression, and to live a life that you deserve and desire. Her philosophy is simple: master the game of life so you'll never be trapped in pain or hurt again. Ana can be heard nationwide on the True Secrets of Life radio show on the My Genre Radio Network at 8 a.m. and again at 3 p.m. To listen to her show, go to truesecretsoflife.com.
Here we are back at True Secrets of Life with Ana Lennyr, family relationship and antidepressant expert. And we have a special guest here on the show with us today. His name is Jeremy Leisky, and he is the founder of an extraordinary application that we talked about for the first half of the show, GPS to Life Success. And if you have not heard the first part of the show, please make sure you go to truesecretsoflife.com to listen to the entire show. Jeremy, your life is, as I said, before, like 150 episodes of drama. Okay. This is it. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I don't want to offend you or anything, but this is the truth, okay? I've been through a lot of hurdles in my life, including a suicidal attempt at the age of 19. This is what drove me today to do what I do today, right, as an antidepressant expert. But your life, no. I have not heard anybody with your life that I know in person. I'm sorry, only in the movies. So for the ones that are just tuning in, for our listeners that are just tuning in, do you mind summarizing a couple of more things about your life? Just to summarize in a couple of minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, basically, like she said, I grew up abusive household, in and out of juvenile detention centers, did 10 years in prison, had a couple of companies that I built up and lost. It's been a journey called Forrest Gump phase, carrying across the length of Illinois, went through New York and some of Ohio, so about 400 miles doing that. Went through the loss of my entire family and had to deal with a lot of that, and went through a couple of times in my life of homelessness and picking myself back up. And then on top of that, I've had a lot of health issues. I have 11 stents in my heart right now, congestive heart failure, and that has been a consistent battle that I am winning, by the way, but it's something that I continually battle with and still move forward. And my whole goal is to use these experiences that I have gone through in life to reach out to people and help them change their lives so that people can learn from the things that I had gone through and the different coaches that I work with and what they have gone through, so that you can live the life you know you're meant to live.
Exactly. The life you deserve and desire. And so many of us, we never believe that this is possible for us, right? I mean, when you are out there in your deepest challenges in life, when you're out there in the biggest ditch in the world, and you're trying to climb up and you just can't do it. There is nothing to hold on to. There is nobody to help you. There is nobody to give you a hand. There is nobody that understands what you've been through, right? When you are going through all of this, and you have to pick yourself up in a way or another through these kind of experiences. Maybe, an abusive household, maybe going to jail, maybe, to make the best out of everything. And today you're doing what you're doing with this application, GPS to Life Success, where you offering people at the level of one click, free information about life hacks that can help them in 12 areas of their life. Jeremy, I'm sorry to tell you, but I think God gave you all these hurdles for a reason to be here today with us. I'm sorry, okay? Am I being mean or not? But
No, that's exactly how I feel. And, I'm not trying to get very religious with things, but I made the mistake one day of praying when I was younger, and I said, God, I want wisdom and life. And be careful what you pray for, because, going through all these experiences. But, yeah, it's just been amazing, and I'm very thankful for all of these experiences, because I am doing what I'm doing today because of all that. I'm able to reach people. And like you said, when you feel like you are alone out there, now you're not. With this app, we're here for you. These coaches are here for you. We made this to really help each and every one of you to move forward in life. And so that, really, the problem we have is, like, we have the old mentality. I call it the John Wayne mentality. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Now, that was a terrible impression of John Wayne, but you get the idea that that's how people told you. You have to do it yourself. Pull up by your bootstraps. Just take your emotions, take all that stuff, and put it in a corner of your mind somewhere and just deal with it. And, that is definitely unhealthy. And so now it's going, okay, there's a community here that care about you, that will work with you, that will give you what you need in order to be successful. And the good thing is that when you start walking in your purpose, then automatically people around you, family, friends, they notice a change and they want that in their lives. And you all of a sudden start, and you don't mean to sometimes, but now all of a sudden you become an influencer in all of the people around you. So this is my way of changing the world. And reaching out to each person, letting them know that each person out there has a purpose. You can actually do it, and you're meant to do something great in this world. You just have to start believing in yourself, start finding the different things that are going on that you need to work on, because that's the biggest thing, too, is a lot of times we don't even know what we need to work on. we sit there and think it's something wrong with us, and we go, I don't know why I'm depressed. There's something wrong with me. I must be broken. I must be wired wrong. What it is that you just don't have the proper tools, and you don't know what kinds of questions to ask, and then you don't have the right kind of people answering those questions. So that is the whole purpose of this app, and that's why I'm so excited for it and so thankful for everything that I have gone through in life.
And I am so happy to have you, not even today on the show, but to consider you as a friend, as I am one of those coaches on the app that, yes, I'm a little bit more radical out there. I'm a little bit more crazy, okay? I'm one of those that get out of depression now and don't sit there and wait until you die like my mom died, right, without being happy one day in her life. I'm one of those, but this is the truth. You know, maybe God gave us all these hurdles now to just start screaming that no teenager has to go through what you've been through. Nobody to help them find their purpose in life, and you ended up in a bank robbery, right? So things like that sometimes they define your life later on, and there is always you can have a comeback, right? You can have a comeback in the last minutes of your life just to turn everything around, right? I have clients at the age of 74 who get out of depression faster than somebody at the age of 40 or 50. I'm like, how is that possible? You're 74 years old and you just listen to what I say, and a 40 and 50-year-old person doesn't. And they said, well, I don't have any more time to spend in this kind of crap. I've been in depression for 70 years of my life. And I'm like, wow. It's like, can everybody be like you? Do I have to go to any doctor out there and tell them just lie to the patient, say he's going to die in a month so they can just get on the program, right? I mean, it's absolutely unimaginable how you can come back at any point of your life. But because of this app, we have the potential of reaching to young adults who don't have to suffer and go through what I've been through, you've been through, or any of these coaches on the application. We can save them decades of their life, absolutely decades of their life. And Jeremy, would you like to talk about, you have two options. You have a free option and you also have a paid option. Would you like to talk about these options that you also have? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, when I designed this app, I thought about the times in my life that I was really struggling. And this is where we're reaching. There's people that are at different points in life. There's some people right now that have nothing in the bank account and you're trying to figure out where am I going to get my next meal, all the way to people that have, very successful businesses and everything they could possibly want, but they are just going through a serious depression and they feel like that something is missing in life. But I really wanted this to hit everybody. So what I did was on this app is I made it for people that are really struggling, that you can get onto this app absolutely free. And we've got a free book that you're going to be able to get when you get on there that has a special life hack from each one of these coaches that you can apply. And every day on the main page on our app, we have a brand new life hack that'll be there for you each day when you get on that you can start applying in your life. And, once you start getting some of those and start applying them in your life and you feel like, you know what, I want to do more in the app, we do have an option that's a membership. But here's the thing, I already made the membership $20 for people. Because I look and I'm going, you know what, I have Netflix. And I sit here and I'm going, there's some months I don't even look at Netflix and I don't even think twice about paying for it. And then, I wanted to make this affordable for everybody out there so that they could be a part of this app. And then, so when you pay to be a member on there, it gives you access immediately to life hacks from every single coach that's on there. You also get access to the Zoom calls that are going to be the one-on-one calls with each one of the coaches each month for 30 minutes to an hour. So you get to hear more and you can ask questions and different things like that. We have our social platform that has gamification and goal setting on there. We have our blogazine. I mean, we have a lot of different tools that are on there to help you move forward in life just for $20 each month. And so this is really meant to reach millions of people. I could charge, when I first put this together, I had people there going, oh, you could charge, $200 a month for people to be on this app and more. And I go, I can understand that, but this is really meant for everybody out there. And so that's why we've made the membership at that price.
I want a refund, okay? I want to refund Jeremy right now because I paid $320,000 to get out of depression in mentorship programs. I want a refund, okay? I'm going to start complaining right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But this is how these coaching program cost, okay? This is how these things are. One of my mentors, he charges $100,000 for 1 day working with him. And that's 7.5 hours. And you have to pay for lunch, okay? So it's not a joke. And you know him. You know who's that coach, okay? Because you work with him at different levels, right? So things like that is
absolutely.
like, you made it for everybody. Number one, you have a lot of free stuff. So every kid out there that thinks that he's depressed or he doesn't feel happy can just go on a free version. Doesn't leave $1 in his pocket to just click. Okay, and just follow these life hacks that we have, right? Absolutely nothing. And if you want coaching in a group of coaching and to meet the coach one-on-one, well, with all due respect, I'm charging between $500 and $1,500 an hour, depending on my program is, only for 1 hour of somebody to talk to me, right? There, you have $20 for all the coaches on Zoom. Okay, I mean it's like 4 cups of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. If you go probably to Starbucks, it's 3 cups of coffee because it's more expensive at Starbucks.
Right.
Okay, that's a whole month, right? It's like quit 4 cups of coffee a month, which might not be healthy for some people, might be healthy for others. All right, and it's just like this is how unimaginably affordable this is. For the listeners that are just tuning in, you guys are listening to True Secrets of Life radio show with Ana Lennyr. I am a family relationship and antidepressant expert, and today's True Secret of Life is limited, but knowledge is not. And just to show you what knowledge can do and how can it turn around lives and how can it save maybe your neighbor's kid if you feel that they have an issue or they have a problem. I brought in Jeremy Leisky, the founder of GPS to Life Success, because what he put together on his application is absolutely magnificent. And if you haven't heard the first part of a show, please make sure you go into truesecretsoflife.com and you listen to the first part of a show, because he's explaining not only his life, that's 150 episodes of drama out there, an entire, I'm sorry, okay? It's like, I can't even, I mean, I've been through hurdles, but not like this, man. Seriously. I think I would have killed myself every day if I would have been through your hurdles, with all due respect. Only one attempt, it wouldn't be sufficient. I mean, this is how important it is that we understand where this is coming from. Practically, God keeps you alive today, put you through all these struggles for today, to do something for everybody out there, for millions of people out there, okay, on a simple app, that's simple, okay, with a free version and a $20 paid version, right? I mean, come on, let's face it. When you have access to a tremendous amount of knowledge, and one secret out of there, one life hack out of there can change your life forever. You might not need 2 or 3, only one to just get it, and everything changes in your life. So, Jeremy, I have to ask you, what are these life hacks? Because this is the first question I asked when I was invited on this platform. What are these things?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to get into that real quick. I just want to say is that I understand that I've been through a lot of life, but we all have our journey. We all have our struggles and, hurdles in life. And each and every one of you out there, I mean, we could make a series on everybody's life out there because we've all been through some amazing things in life. So I'm going to touch back to the life hacks here. I kind of got a little off on that. I just wanted to touch on that while we were there. So.
Yes, we have another 15 minutes in the show. Yes.
No, but the life hacks are quick. They're quick actions that you can take in and put into your life. And they're 150 words or less, so they're not a long book on something. And they're just a quick tip. There might be something that just teaches you, okay, well, first thing, like I like to use the example mindset, setting that foundation first thing in the morning. What I do for a trick that helps me to get in the proper mindset is I wake up and I think about 3 things that were great from the day before, and I write them down. And what that does is it shifts my mind to start thinking positively and start looking at the positive things. So when I approach the day, the rest of the day, that's the foundation. So setting that up in the morning. So I would do something like a life tip hack of saying, write that down. And then we have the challenge. And the challenge would be, I want you to do that for an entire week. And then journal about that. There's a section on the app. You can do a quick journal. Hey, this is my experience after doing that from an entire week. It really changed me. All this other stuff. And it's amazing, and that's really for you. Those journals are there for you to look at, for you to go back and reflect. And then, like I said, there's different things in the life or in the app that you can keep track of your progress. And then you're going to be able to look back and go, wow, how far I've come in just a few weeks and see these things. So through each one of these life hacks, it's something that you can take, like we said before, and apply right this moment to make a difference in your life. And they're short, simple. I like to follow what they call the KISS rule, which is keep it simple, silly. And, that's how I try to do everything. We want this to be very simple for you to be able to take this and go ahead and start applying that in your life immediately.
Exactly. And, you mentioned simple. And it's unimaginable, how for me that, as an antidepressant expert, when I get people out of depression, how simple it can be and how complicated we all make it, right? I mean, we think that you have to go on top of a Himalayan mountains and live there for 3 months and freeze to death and whatever happens to you there. Or, a tornado needs to come and pick you up to the mountains and you meet God or whatever, everybody thinks that, everybody thinks it's got to be so complicated. So complicated. And you know why they think like this, Jeremy? Because I tested my clients and I said, why do you believe this crap? Why do you believe it takes you years to get out of depression? Oh, because I lived years in depression. Right?
Yeah.
So just because they lived a tremendous amount of decades in suffering, in pain and stuff like that, they think that they need another, decades out there to get out of. And this is what, it's amazing what you put together, because during these life hacks, I challenge everybody, considering that this app is for free and they can pick the free version at any time, to just do it. Do it for a month. Everything that they ask you, every coach out there that it asks you to do something, just do it. Do it for 1 month, only 1 month, okay? And see if you don't see changes in your life. Because until you don't see how simple it is, you're not going to believe me or Jeremy or anybody else on this planet, right? You're not going to believe anybody until you don't see and you don't experience it with your own eyes and with your own heart. So I challenge everybody today that's listening to the show to go on the app, GPS to Life Success, and just give it 1 month. You know something? If you're too busy to read 150 words and have a challenge of 2 minutes a day, give it 1 week. Just give it 1 week. Put in your calendar for 1 week, I'm going to read 150 words, okay? And I'm going to do a 2 minutes challenge. 1 week from all the coaches that pop up there. And if you don't see any difference in your life, I don't know what to tell you. Go back to suffering. Okay, this is how straight I am. I'm sorry, okay? I am so sorry. I tell everybody, it's so easy to transform your life, okay, it's so hard to stay in pain. It's so hard to suffer. And I tell this from an experience of I've been there. I suffered. I failed every single day of my life. I had nobody to give me an app to click on just to follow a week or a month of directions. Okay, very simple, right? I had nobody to do this for me. And I kept living in suffering over and over again. And everybody was like, what is wrong with you? And I started to believe there is something wrong with me too. Right? And this is exactly what you're trying to avoid here. And not only to avoid for people believing that there's something wrong with them just because they don't have money, or just because they're a little bit depressed, or just because they lost their family or a member of their family, or, just because they're thinking in a negative way, because guess what? Probably 3 generations of their family were thinking in a negative way. And they got used to that. Very simple. It's so simple to slip into this trap of negativity, right? So all of this you put together with different perspectives, not only with one coach in each category, but with 3 to 5 coaches in each category, where you're going to get yourself life hacks from different perspectives. And maybe you're not ready on this app for me at the mental health and relationship level, because you know how straight I am and how direct I am, and maybe you're not ready to make changes immediately. So check out other coaches too. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because, some people want to do radical changes to just like get out now, and other ones are slower. They need a little bit more time. But this is why it's important that you brought different perspectives. You brought different, maybe we should say different speeds, because every coach has its own speed out there, right? If you will, right? And you also brought a one-on-one interaction. And would you like to talk a little bit about what is this one-on-one interaction that people can have in their paid version?
Sure. Well, really, it's a group interaction right now with coaches on Zoom. Like you said, we got them on there for 30 minutes to an hour, and they will do a quick lesson and then do Q&A, or they'll just be there for Q&A. There's different styles like we talked about with the coaches, so you can be on a group and ask some specific questions. The other thing on our app is that each one of the coaches has a link directly to their program or to schedule a call with them, which is fantastic. And then our coaches are also admins on our social platform. And we are still tweaking a few things with that, but there's going to be more interaction with that on there, where coaches will get on and people will be able to ask questions, and coaches can get on and answer some simple questions for people and help people in those areas. So we've really got a lot in there to help everybody out and really get that interaction with this.
And I think this is very important, right? Because you hear me on the radio, you hear somebody, on an application, it writes down a story or whatever. Until you don't connect one-on-one with someone, until you don't see them, that they're really people, that they just get you, that they just want you to live a life you deserve and desire. Not what I think, what you think. Not what I desire, what you desire, right? Until you don't realize this, you think that we're something from a movie, that, you were talking about the hurdles and the movie has to end up in a good note, right? Well, some movies do end up in a good note. My mom's movie did not, okay? She never lived 1 week happy in her life. She died at the age of 55 overnight from conditions linked to depression. Practically her liver exploded. Right? So think about how much do you deserve to be happy? When you're going to make that decision to change minor things, like, maybe exactly like you mentioned, a little mindset of setting up in the morning for 1 minute your goals. Okay? Instead of thinking about what happened the day before and how hurt you were. Right? Little steps like this that can make a whole lot of difference in your life. Right?
Absolutely.
And these little things, I challenge everybody to do, because, as I said, it's not hard to get out of your hurdles. There are people there that do want to help you, okay, to overcome homelessness, to overcome depression, to overcome grief. There are people there who are willing to help you. And even, on a free application like GPS to Life Success application, right? But you also need to want that help. You also need to want to stop the pain and suffering because you don't deserve it. Because you don't deserve it. And I say all the time, there are two teachers in life. One of them is suffering and the other one is truth. And a lot of times we're not ready to see the truth. And we have to go through the suffering part. But something, more and more teenagers and young adults, they are sick of seeing their parents suffering. Right? And they're sick of seeing us suffering and all that. So they come towards us with a different perspective. So, we're wrapping up our show in a few minutes. And for everybody that hasn't seen the entire show out there, please make sure you go to truesecretsoflife.com where the entire show is out there. We will also have a button there to download GPS to Life Success, which, by the way, you can find it everywhere and anywhere. Where can they find it, Jeremy?
They can find it on the Apple Store and on Google. So we've got them both covered.
Okay, so you're all covered. There is no excuses, okay? Absolutely no excuses out there. Hey, this is how it goes, okay? Why do we have to suffer? Okay, so we get the hell out of suffering faster. That's the reason. Make that a reason for your life. Very simple, okay? So, and if you know anybody who is going through heartbreak, who is going through grief, who is going through hurdles, emotional hurdles, mindset hurdles, psychological hurdles, right? Who is going through addiction, who is going through financial problems, please make sure you share this app with them. It is free. All they have to do is click and make the decision to just follow a couple of directions from different perspectives and different coaches. Because guess what? Everybody deserves to be happy. So thank you, Jeremy, for coming over and talking about this amazing true secret of life, which is life is limited, but knowledge is not. So any last words you would like to say to our audience?
Absolutely. One thing first is that sometimes you have people out there that think that they are doing well in life, and even if you feel that you're doing really well in life, come to the app because there's going to be some areas that I guarantee that you need a little bit more tweaking in. And again, it's great to have those different perspectives. And then like she said, as Anna said, that each and every one of us, I'm going to tell you, we are amazing. You are amazing. You have the ability to not only change your life, but to change the world. And I know some people might be listening to that and thinking, no, that's not me. It absolutely is you. One of the people that inspire me is a man named Paul Alexander. Please look this man up. He's lived in an iron lung for 70 years. You heard that correctly, 70 years in an iron lung. And he has written books. He's gone to law school. He paints. He has inspired millions of lives around the world. So if somebody can do that from an iron lung, then each and every one of us can do that in this world. And so we are in this world together, and we need to be lifting each other up. And I love each and every one of you out there. And Anna, thank you so much for the time on your show today.
Thank you, Jeremy. So please make sure that you're going to truesecretsoflife.com to watch the entire interview for GPS to Life Success application. And it's amazing what we can all do, each one of us, to live the life we deserve and desire.
You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.